Hey, what is up, everybody, and welcome to the Get Your Bell Rung Football Podcast. He is Kevin Reynolds. I am Bobby Wall, and we are here to talk all things football and hit you with some takes that might rattle you up a bit. We are doing this show just before kickoff for the very first NFL game, Thursday night, Chiefs and Lions. I am rocking the Barry Sanders. I am Team Detroit tonight, buddy. What about you?
I'm not Team Detroit because as much as I love Detroit, I don't understand your allegiance there. But yeah, I don't really give two craps who wins tonight. I just hope fantasy-wise, everybody on both these teams sucks tonight.
Yeah, well, no, I need David Montgomery in a couple places.
Yes, I don't need anything because the only thing I have in this game is Sky Moore on my bench. So
Okay.
I prefer that he doesn't do much either, so I'm not pissed off for 3 days.
That's the danger of Thursday night plays. You and I both hate playing Thursday night guys. In our once and done league, up until you decided to go behind my back and play some guys on Thursday night,
It
we
worked
usually
out
have
last year. I did it that one night. I got like 22 points.
Yeah, no, it did work out, but we're supposed to have a strictly no Thursday night players a rule there.
Feel good about it. I didn't feel good about it, but I did after the game.
My heart. And I'll tell you what, I think the number one story in the NFL right now, and this game is affected by it, are the big name guys who are injured right now. We got Travis Kelce, who hyperextended his knee. He's out. Cooper Kupp, another first round fantasy pick. He's out at least week one, probably multiple weeks. And then obviously Jonathan Taylor, that mess he's going through. At one point, he was also a first round fantasy pick. So we got some guys, depending on when you drafted. All three of these guys were first-round picks, and all three of them are facing, two of them most likely, maybe Kelce, multi-week absences, and that is not the way you want to start your fantasy league off.
Well, let's address that, Bobby.
Yeah.
That Jonathan Taylor's a bunch of bullshit. That is not an injury. That's just him not feeling like playing and being pissy because he's the petulant kid again, getting kicks instead of Frankenberry, acting like a whiny baby. So he's on the pup for 4 weeks. He doesn't have a choice. He could have the healthiest ankle on earth. He's not playing until week 5 because he's not allowed by league rules. As far as Kelce, I think he does a huge bullet. They said he was begging to play tonight.
Yeah.
Luckily, they're being wise with this and saying, no, we'll give you 10 more days to heal when we really need you. And that not they don't need him tonight because you and I both were big. Is it bullish or bearish? I think we're bullish on the Lions, right?
That means yes, we are bullish. We are pro Lions. Yes.
So we both think this game could be a barn burner tonight. The one I'm worried about those three guys is Kupp.
Yeah, me too.
Because I think he's already on the wrong side of all this. The way he plays the game, his tiny frame and everything, and then soft tissue injury now after last year's injury. Man, I don't know where this is going to go.
Yeah, it is scary. And this game should be a barn burner. Vegas thinks it is. It has the highest point total of the week at 52.5. A close second is the Miami Dolphins and Chargers game. They're at 51.
Did it drop with the Kelce news?
Actually, I don't think so. Now, unless I'm looking at DraftKings Sportsbook right now, and I just refreshed it before we started. As of 7:07, that's still. Let me refresh again. It's been a few minutes since then. Dude, actually, it went up to 53. Okay. So I don't know. I might take the under on that one. Plus, really? The first game of the year, I mean, sometimes it's tough for those offenses to get rolling. Now, normally, depending on the offense, the Lions, they should gel pretty well because at least Amon-Ra St. Brown and Goff and Khalif Raymond, they've been there. But there's always new pieces. So I would take the under, but that's just me.
Yeah, you got Laporta tonight. You got the Chiefs' whole receiver core, again, just not different from last year, but they're missing Juju.
Tony's playing. Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, MVS, Marcus
Valdez, and no Kelce, so that changes things. What's going to happen in their backfield? What's going to happen in Detroit's backfield? McKinnon. It's so crazy.
I wouldn't be surprised if Kelce's targets went to McKinnon. He can do it. Obviously, he showed last year he could do it.
I think Two-Nut is decided to play McKinnon tonight over Pacheco.
Ooh. Oh, man, I don't hate it. Honestly, for me, those guys are a coin flip.
Yeah, I'm sitting here flipping a coin while you say it.
And is your league, is it a full PPR?
Half.
Oh yeah, that even full PPR, I probably would go McKinnon, but that half again goes to the coin flip.
Speaking of
Uh,
injuries, Juju Smith Schuster, we just said, who's that loud dude on Sirius you love? I can never remember his name.
Jeff Mans.
Yeah, they reported yesterday that the news coming out. Did you see this?
I did not.
The news coming out of New England is that they're saying B reporters there that on any given route they expect Juju's knee to explode. That was the
Oh,
actual
a
word,
ticking time bomb. Yeah,
explode.
yeah.
That his knee, they are babying it like you wouldn't believe it is. And then the word with in the training room, everything is that he is one step away from his knee blowing to shreds.
That's interesting. Later on in the show, we're going to talk about some guys that are probably on your waiver wire that went undrafted that you might be able to add to the end of your bench. And I had mentioned to you I was gonna do one guy and then I
Yeah.
didn't. Maybe now I should. I'll bring him up later at the end.
Yeah.
We'll tease that, but we might need to bring him back up. Another huge story over the weekend. I don't know if you paid attention to college football too much. I don't really get into it a lot till the end of the year, especially when I start breaking down film on all of our prospective first round picks. But Travis Hunter, who followed Dion to Colorado, the guy played both sides of the ball, right around 150 total snaps, starting at corner and at receiver. He got an interception on defense, I think 3 tackles and 11 catches for 119 yards. All right. To put this in perspective, it can take NFL players 3 full games to reach 150 total snaps. When I was in college, I played all of our special teams and defense. And our offense was terrible. We got walloped by this one team, and I was on the field for 135 plays. And I can tell you, I was gassed until like Thursday of the next week. I was beat up. I was tired. And I mean, they interviewed him at the end of the game, and he's like, I'm ready to run this back right now. Travis Hunter just put himself, I think, in position for a Heisman voter too.
Well, one game,
Correct.
and there is zero chance that's going to go on all season long.
There's no way he could do it.
His body's not going to handle it. And the second he goes down, the press is going to freaking bury Dion for taking this dude who Dion says should be a first round pick and all this jazz. A guy potentially cost him millions by destroying his body. You can't play in the Power Five conferences every snap on both sides of the ball. It is
You can't play
going
any.
to backfire almost. I can't say definitely, never know, but I cannot see this panning out long term. And he
I
won't
wouldn't
need
even.
to do it. If they're killing people, or if they're getting killed, they won't need to do it. But in a
Yeah.
game like that, barn burner week 1, wanted to win, I get it. But I
For
imagine
Travis
there's
Hunter's.
already people telling him, like, look, dude, worked
Yeah.
great for 1 week, but you best watch yourself on this.
Yeah. I hear you. All right. I'm ready to jump in to our little waiver wire deal, unless you got something else you wanna bring up.
We don't have anything. Oh, did you notice that Chris Jones tonight? He's
He's not playing
actually there in his box watching the game tonight.
in the stands.
Yeah, his player
So,
box that they gave as part of his deal for his family. Now he's there watching the game from the player box.
So for those of us who don't know why that is impactful, go ahead and give us Chris his story.
Well, he's holding out on the team, and he says that he wants a pay raise, and he's saying he doesn't want to be a distraction. He's saying, how is he possibly hurting the team by doing this? He's just, if you worked at Walmart and wanted to trade or wanted more money, who holds out at Walmart? Like all this junk. So the dude literally is there watching the game, but not helping his teammates. Yes, this reminds me of something once one time, we won't mention names on here, at one of our it reminds me of a time at our track and field event when one of our uh, fellow teachers decided to show up and sit in the stands for 7 hours while we ran around like scalded dogs running the whole thing. But it's quite interesting. You'd actually have the gall to show up and watch.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This is the only team activity he's shown up for at all, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, he's not been doing anything. He's been training in
Hey,
Florida somewhere.
that's ballsy, man. I honestly don't know how to feel about that, man.
But I
That's
think it's
just
gotten worse with the Bosa deal because now he's seeing what he just got paid. Now he's going to want even more.
different. Yeah, different positions
It
though.
is, but still, he's going to say, "Look, these guys broke the bank for this dude.
And
What are you going to do
he
for me?"
he is one of the best in the business. I
He
mean, he
is,
gets
but
it
still, you
done.
you got to pay everybody else too. And when you pull this kind of stuff,
Right.
you signed that contract,
Oh, I know. And he's getting fined. He's already accrued, I think, $2 million
yeah,
in
and you
fines.
can't. And it's not like it used to be. The team part of that
Right.
latest deal is you cannot rescind. He has to
Right.
pay it. It will be taken out literally when he starts getting paid again. It'll be taken out of his game checks.
Right. And that was, one thing that was made all the finding stuff a joke in the previous CBA because a player get fined $1 million and then the teams had the opportunity
They
just
just
to
poof.
waive that fine and say, don't worry about it. So the fines didn't mean anything to the guys holding out. But now with the new CBA, you can't do that. That was a smart move on the team's behalf, if you ask me.
Well, it makes it actually meaningful. Being fined is
Yeah.
actually meaningful now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love
So interesting that he's there watching. You have to his teammates are all going to say the right things, but you have to wonder if there's not a few of them like, really, dude, you're making 10 times what I make. I'm out here playing.
I know
It's a tough pill to swallow. Again, millionaires crying about money. It's difficult.
that is. All right, sir. So our drafts are over for the most part, unless you're getting, I mean, unless you're getting one in right now, or you're going to do it after Thursday night games. I don't know how that works, but they should be over. Even though you just drafted a team, you should always check your waiver wire. Some guys fall through the cracks, and the information we get, it changes every day. If you had Travis Kelce, guess what? You need a tight end now. He's not playing tonight or this week, or who knows about the future. If you drafted Cooper Kupp or Jonathan Taylor, you're going to need someone to fill in. So I went through and picked out a few guys. I think you're going to talk about some as well that you could add on the end of your bench. And all of these guys have a current ADP of after pick 180. So they're, I mean, undrafted guys in most leagues. And I'll start out. I'm pretty big on this guy, at least for this week, and that is Washington Commanders quarterback Sam Howell. He is currently overall pick 194, quarterback 28 in drafts. I mean, if you're playing in a 16-team league, you got a chance for this guy easy. He had a great preseason, 75% completion percentage, 265 yards, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, also had 25 yards rushing. I know. I'm talking to Mr. I hate / ignore the preseason, and I know that preseason stats mean close to nothing. But he did show that he can score fantasy points. He also has a great wide receiver duo. We got Scary Terry McLaurin. We got Jahan Dotson. He has an offensive coordinator that worked with Patrick Mahomes for a few years. And probably most importantly, this guy's a dual threat quarterback. He rushed for over 800 yards in his final season at UNC. Let us not forget the Washington Commanders have a home game against the lowly Arizona Cardinals coming up on Sunday. I am big time on Sam Howell. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I have him starting in one of my leagues. I picked him up really just for this. Tons of quarterbacks went early. I picked him up for this week for sure. And maybe, if he does what I think he might do this week, maybe he'll stick around.
You thinking about slanging him out there in the once and done, big boy? That sounds
I
like you're
neither
kind
can
of leading
I
into
neither
that.
confirm or deny that he is already in my lineup in the once and done. I'm putting my money where my mouth is numerous places.
Okay. Really taking a shot. A man
Yeah.
who missed the playoffs by 6 points last year. Going
Let's
out
do
Sam Howell in week one.
I want to roll those dice early and often, my friend.
That's a
Early and often.
that's
How
a
do you
nice
feel?
dice roll. I think that what in what have you looked to see what percentage he's owned in a normal league, like a 12
Uh,
team league?
I have not. I would imagine it's 15% or less. I can look though.
You think it would be that low? A lot of people
Well,
are really high on
if
him. I'm
if
not saying he
it's
would be a starter, but he'd be a backup.
if it's a home league, then he might be owned more simply because a lot of the people that don't know what they're doing draft backup quarterbacks. So that could skew everything. But no, I can't imagine
You're
he's owned
saying
by.
that people that don't know what they're doing draft backup quarterbacks. Is that what you're implying? Or just straight
Yeah.
up saying, not even implying?
No, I'm not implying I am. I'm just saying it. You don't need a backup quarterback. 22%
Okay. Yeah,
on Yahoo. Yahoo's 22%.
I entirely dispute that notion because in some leagues where it's not endless streaming, endless pickups, endless this, endless that, it's great to have a backup. And if you're in a situation, a league where somebody just sort of falls to you in round 12, that could be a great backup if you need them. I think it's foolish to not take one. But I know you're big on not having one because you love the stream.
Right. I mean, if I don't get that guy early, yes, you're right.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. So yeah, I can buy him. I mean, any starting quarterback that isn't really challenged for his role is going to be a guy that could help somebody. But there's no there. I guess for this week, he's good if you have no quarterback. But there's not many quarterbacks really out, so you'd be really hard. You'd have to be in a really, really big league, like a 20 team, 25 team league to play him this week.
Well, I'm playing him in a 12-team league because we had, I mean, by the end of the 6th round, I want to say, we were already up in the double digit
Yeah.
quarterbacks that were taken. So
So you
by the
picked him
time
for week one just because he was playing the Cardinals, and
yes,
then you'll
because by
dump
the
him
time I
this.
got, yeah, yeah, probably I will. And we'll see, we'll see what we have out there on the waiver wire. Maybe he performs okay and I get to start him again. I don't know.
Okay.
This next guy I have, I think you're going to enjoy. I know you did when he was coming out in the draft, and that is Jonathan Mingo, wide receiver for the
Yeah.
Carolina Panthers. 216 ADP, wide receiver 68. Now, we always say that when you're drafting this late, we draft for upside. His floor is literally 0. But he
Not
does have
this
some
week.
upside. Right. Yeah, right. He has found himself in a wide receiver room with old man Adam Thielen, the oft injured DJ Chark, who is injured right now and might not play, and our 2nd round letdown. I know a guy you were big on, Terrace Marshall. He hasn't turned out to be anything.
Of those three guys, he's the only one that practiced today.
He is the only one that's 100%
Chark
healthy.
and Thielen are both game time decisions trending down.
Well, Thielen, he did not. He practiced limited yesterday. Didn't practice today. Could be a setback. Could be old man rest day. We don't know that just yet. But no matter what, he's going to see the field week 1. And I'm not telling you to start him week 1, but his road to significant targets is not a long one. All he's got to do, if he can bury himself in his playbook, learn this offense, he's got all the opportunity in the world to be the wide receiver 1 in Carolina as a rookie. He was a late riser in the draft process, but he ended up being drafted 39th overall. He was the 5th wide receiver in the real NFL draft and the first selection by Carolina after they took Bryce Young first. He was very explosive at Ole Miss. Correct me if I'm wrong, it was Mims is the one that you told me to check out later
Mims is
on,
the
right?
one I love. Mims is the one I
Yeah.
think of all those lower, like that second tier wide receivers, is the one that could have a amazing career.
Right. But I think we both ended up liking Mingo when we
Yeah,
checked
we
him
did.
as well. Very explosive at what was it, Mississippi State? And dude, I like if you're swinging for the fences, no problem with Mingo at all.
What is he owned in, if you can look real quick, because he was a guy that went for money in my league.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
I would think in most 12 team leagues, the guy should be rostered.
Well, not with an ADP of what was it, 216?
I guess smaller leagues, yeah, that would normally have.
17% in Yahoo. 17%.
It just doesn't make any sense. Who are these idiots? He's in such a great situation. I mean, sort of. They're awful. There'll be negative great game script all the time. Quarterback is going to have to prove something. But yeah, these wide receivers are all permanent. They're all injured all the time, and none of them are getting any younger.
And if I'm Bryce Young, who do I really want to have a rapport with? Who do I really want to stay after practice with every single day? Do I want to be Adam Thielen, who's going to be retired in 6 months, or
maybe 6 weeks.
right, or do I want the rookie that's coming in with me that we might spend our careers together?
Yeah,
That's
that's
the
it.
guy I want to practice with.
Yeah, I'd want to get going with him soon. But he's going to want to win games too because he's going to have to keep that job.
That's true. That's true. Wait, who's gonna have to keep that job? Bryce Young?
Yeah,
That's his job. They're not giving it to
we'll
Andy
see.
Dalton.
We'll see.
Yeah. I got one more for you. You good?
Why wouldn't that be
Ready?
good?
I don't know, Kevin. I don't know.
I'm just looking around at stuff, looking at names, looking at the TV.
Dallas Cowboys starting first string tight end Jake Ferguson. Overall ADP of 208 and tight end 27. And we've talked about this quite a few times, if you punt on tight end, you don't get Kelsey or Andrews or Goddard or whoever. They're all the same. So why not bet on a guy who plays for a team who has implemented tight ends into their offense since Jay Novacek? Dak Prescott was drafted in 2016. Since then, 5 of the 7 years he's played, the Cowboys have had a top 12 fantasy tight end. That's a late career Jason Witten. That's a Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz was tight end 3, was it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Right. Why stop now? Ferguson's 6'5", he's 250, and he's going to be the guy. Luke Schoonmaker was a second-round rookie, and Peyton Hendershot are the only 2 other tight ends on the roster. We know it's tough for rookie tight ends to make an impact right away. Dude, Ferguson's going to be on the field almost every play, and as a quarterback who loves throwing to his tight ends, I am in. And once again, money where my mouth is, I have him starting in at least one league as well. I love that I have made you speechless, and you are so on the Jake Ferguson train, you don't know what to say.
It's just so odd with you sometimes. The things you say, the things you do.
Please.
It blows my mind. I don't know what to say. Why? I'm not saying the guy won't be really good, but playing him in week 1, that's ballsy. Not really knowing exactly how much will even be on the field as a week 1. He misses one block, and Dak might say, "Bye-bye, you're not playing anymore."
Nah, I'm not worried about that.
It's interesting.
We're rolling dices here, Kevin. If you punt, listen,
You said you were going to roll the dice last year. Here we are.
Rolling dice, buddy.
I'm
dice
making again.
Lost time. Now, I will say I'm not starting Jake Ferguson and Sam Howell in the same league. I'm certainly not doing that. But look, tight end, what's the difference between tight end 12 and tight end 27? 1.5 a game? You know what I mean?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying long term he might be great, but it's ballsy to play him in week 1 of his rookie year, not knowing exactly what his role will even be. It's
okay.
But I'm not saying he's a bad guy to have on your team. I don't think that at all. He was, like I said, he's drafted in my league. But to have him out in week 1, it's ballsy. If it works out for you, I'll say kudos. If it doesn't, I'll say, well, these things happen when you play a rookie in week 1.
Well, he's not a rookie.
Oh yeah, he's not. Sorry. But still, when you play somebody very new.
But so let's bring up a rookie. Michael Mayer or Jake Ferguson, week 1.
I don't really want to play either of them.
Sure. Okay. How about Irv Smith Jr. or Jake Ferguson?
I don't want to. Why would I want to play any of those guys?
Tyler Conklin.
These are guys that shouldn't start in any 12-team league on earth.
Right. These are guys.
They shouldn't even start my league. I have a 16-team league. They shouldn't be starting my league either. Why would I have to pick between these guys?
All those guys are ranked above Jake Ferguson, and I want Ferguson over all of them.
For this week or for the season?
Maybe both. I mean, the Cowboys are playing the Giants this week, right? The Giants. I'm not afraid of that defense.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know what to say to you.
Well, you're gonna say good job after this week.
I guess we'll find out.
You got a couple for us?
I didn't really have this. As I told you, I have a very big league, 272 roster spots. So there's the waiver wire in our league is true trash. So you're talking about the deepest of deep people. The So what I went by then was ownage percentage in all of my fantasyleague.com. The highest ranked guy that's not on a team in our league is Kendre Miller.
He's hurt.
Yeah, so that's nobody I want. The next
Right.
highest is a guy that I might like in 3 years, Rasheed Rice. Will he even see the field tonight?
I was going to say he might have to play tonight,
Might.
depending on injuries.
Yeah, they got Kelsey out. What's his name? Tony is not 100%. He'll get hurt on a lateral on the third play of the game and he'll be out.
Yeah, it'll be the third play of the game, but he'll already have 2 touchdowns by then.
Now he didn't do that. Remember, was it last year? I think I played him. He got to the Chiefs. He had one nice play and then boom, got hurt on a lateral. The next play and was out for 5 games.
Okay, so
Jaden Reed in Green Bay. Is that something? There's nothing here outside of this whole list I'm looking at. There's one person I would maybe want on my team, and that'd be Chase Brown.
what about Puka Nakua? He's a rookie for the Rams. Cooper Kupp's not playing. I think he's starting along with Van Jefferson. And this guy is currently 279 ADP, wide receiver 88. Is that somebody you throw on the end of your bench and just say, hey, let's see what happens?
I don't know. Let me look.
You've been so insightful tonight. This is great.
This is crazy. These names you throw out. It's just almost funny.
Or while you're thinking about Puka Nakua.
Puka Nakua. He is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th owned receiver. He's owned at 29%.
Okay. So how about Wan'Dale Robinson? I think we both enjoyed watching his game
One
film.
Dale? Come on, at least call him by his name. One Dale.
Okay. I hate
if
you.
He's not on somebody's team, then you're in a stupid league.
His ADP is 262, wide receiver 80.
League. He had a nice game or two last year before he got hurt. He signed a long-term deal in my league.
Without looking, I think I'm in 7 different season-long leagues. I would be willing to bet, even my 14-teamer, that he is a free agent. I'll even look.
In all of them?
In all of them, if I had to guess. I'm telling you, people are not. They're not on Wan'Dale. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't seen anything.
Wan'Dale?
Okay. Why?
You get on me about Etienne.
Yeah, because you say it wrong. His name's not Wan'Dale.
It is Wan'Dale.
I've never heard a single human being call him Wan'Dale.
Wan'Dale Robinson.
It's made up.
Well, I'm not saying it's not a ridiculous name. But man, LaVisca Chenault, boy, how he's fallen so quick. Calvin Austin, I wouldn't mind stashing him away in a long-term league, but nothing for this year. You know somebody that could make a couple ways? Randall Cobb, owned in only 15% of leagues. If you really are struggling in a full point PPR, there's people out there.
Now we're on a roll, Kevin. I like this.
Yeah, but I wouldn't touch any of these guys for anything.
I lied. He is on a roster in my 14-teamer, but not in my 12-teamers.
Okay.
So I apologize for being untruthful.
Terrace Marshall, who we were talking about a little bit ago, he's not on a team in my league.
Well, he shouldn't be. Unfortunately.
I don't know. I think in a 16-team league, it makes sense, but not a 12. I agree 100% there.
And how do you feel about the Sean Tucker stuff? He's supposedly the running back 2 in Tampa Bay. The reason he was good in college, great production, but fell in the draft because of a heart condition, I think it was. He's ADP 261, running back 72. Throw him on the end of your bench just to see what happens.
Yeah, I think he's on a team in my league. I forget, somebody drafted him. Yeah, he's not a bad one. If anytime you're an RB2, that's no longer even a stretch.
Right. Okay.
So that's if you're an RB2, there's only 64 1 or 2s in the league. Okay.
So that's where you would.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go
ahead. So yeah, I mean, anytime you got a number 2 guy, I'm not saying he should definitely be rostered, but if you have a struggling team, why not throw him out there? Maybe that's something that can turn your season around if the starter gets hurt.
The last one I'm going to say before we move on to some of our starts of the week, unless you have something else you want to hop on, is Jeff Wilson Jr., he's obviously dropped tremendously since he went on the pup. But here's the deal, folks. If you have an IR spot on your team, you pick up Jeff Wilson, you immediately put him in that IR spot and then go pick up somebody else. I drafted Jeff Wilson in several leagues simply to do that. I did the same thing with Kyler Murray. Now, I ended up with Jonathan Taylor, who ended up being on the pup, so I dropped Murray and moved Taylor to the pup. But that's a strategy that can set you apart from these other folks that, aren't thinking that far in advance, aren't thinking that deep in your fantasy leagues. Pick up Jeff Wilson. I know he's not going to play the first 4 weeks, but he might be the starter when he comes back. Put him on that IR spot and then pick up somebody else.
Yeah, if you're a league with only one IR, then when he comes back, if you don't want him, just dump him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you have him just in case he comes back and they're like, hey, by now, I mean, as soon as Raheem Mostert plays a quarter and a half, he's going to be hurt. So
a hammy on an 85-yard touchdown right as he's crossing the goal line.
Yes.
He'll get the highest speed, ball carrier speed for the season in the first quarter. And then he won't play another game the rest of the year.
Oh, man.
But somebody's going to get about 20 points out of one play.
Hey, that happened to us in the once and done. Was it our first year or the second year when we were not on the same team, but we both played him? Week one, I think it was Miami.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago, yeah.
San Francisco against Miami. He did it to us, man. 6 minutes into the game. He looked great. He had like 4 carries for 40 yards.
Yes, and then boom, going torn hammy. Never ends with him. He's just too fast for his own good.
I love it.
I hated it. I still don't have my once and done ready for this week. I wait the first week. Just like I never have locks of the week for week one because I have no clue what's going to happen.
Oh my gosh, you got to put yourself out there, Kevin.
I don't have to do that.
Life afraid.
I don't have to do that. There's no fear. It's just called not being stupid. I can't put a number 27 tight end out there and call him my lock of the week.
We're not asking you to put your tight end 27 out there. The people listening, they want to know, Kevin. They want to know how they have week one start sit questions. They're playing DFS. They want to know where they can save some money.
How about
you're not helpful?
What would you do with tune-up, Pacheco or McKinnon?
I told you I would.
Oh yeah, you said a little bit earlier. Yeah, depends on the format. Ours is half.
I would probably lean McKinnon.
I'd still go Pacheco.
Which is great.
I think he has a higher probability of a touchdown.
Yeah, touchdowns are so fluky, though. Yeah. I mean, just think McKinnon, who we're talking about, scored 8 touchdowns in 6 weeks last year?
Extremely fluky. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no kidding.
Some strange plays.
Yep.
Okay, well, who's your QB of the week then, big boy?
Oh, you know who it is, man. We already talked about him. Sam Howell. I got him. I already discussed it. Dual threat.
Going against stuff like this.
Terrible team.
This is your play of the week is Sam Howell.
Listen, Kevin, what do you want me to say? Patrick Mahomes? That's not helping anyone.
Do you really think telling everybody to play Sam Howell is?
I go Jalen Hurts. It might. At least I'm trying.
I'm rolling out Sam Howell this week.
I got him in a DFS lineup too.
Well, it's because you probably got him for $3.
That's what I'm saying, Kevin. That's
what
we're trying to do.
Okay.
It's like you've never done this before.
It's like you're talking about 10 different leagues at once.
We're just talking about fantasy as a whole. I got Sam Howell in season long. I got Sam Howell in DFS, Kevin.
So what do you want me to? You're going to Sam Howell be a top 5 quarterback this week.
Give me a QB1. Yeah, I'll take him as a QB1 this week.
So you think he'll be top 12?
Yes.
But I said top 5.
And I said
you didn't answer 12. The question that I asked.
No, Kevin, I do not think he'll be top 5.
So you think he'll be 6 to 12?
Yes.
7?
I don't know why I do this with you every week, Kevin.
Got to get a more exact number where we're looking here.
Do you have a quarterback?
I want to play Anthony Richardson so bad this week, and I want everybody to do it. I think he's going to have like 100 yards rushing.
And Indy is playing who?
Jacksonville at home.
I don't think he's going to do any of that. I don't know, man. That if the Jaguars can get their pass rush together, he might be in some trouble.
Might be, but he might rush for 100 yards and 2 TDs. I'm so excited about him. Oh, Lord. I can't believe I got him for 4 years.
So you putting him in anywhere?
No, I'm going to play Kirk Cousins.
What about
because
the
it's
one and
week
done?
one, and I don't trust rookies to go out there and do well in week one.
What
If
about the
he
one and
does,
done?
great. I got him the rest of the year, but I'm not going to go out there and throw him out to maybe get 3 points, and then I can say, "So I told you not to play him, you idiot." But
Hey,
calling myself the idiot. Yeah.
okay. So in the mirror.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Running back for me, Cam Akers. The Rams are playing Seattle, and
Never
the
ends it here.
Seahawks. What? The Seahawks had one of the worst run defenses in the league last year. Obviously, things change year to year, especially defenses. But who else do the Rams have to run the ball? I just saw a report that surfaced that said Kyron Williams may get the passing work. Not buying it till I see it. Cam Akers is going to get probably 70% of the snaps and touches there in LA. So I'm all in on Cam Akers.
I want to go with
To what?
two running backs because I like doing that too because it makes you angry. Your boys Charbonneau and Kenny Walker against the Rams,
Charbonnet?
who possibly have the worst defense in the entire league now. I'll take those two guys combined, only because Kenny Walker I still think isn't 100%, or I just take him. But I think they both might end up with 20 points in this game.
I actually love that, Kevin.
You always
And we
yell at me when I pick two. You tell me I need to pick one.
Well, Kevin, for my wide receivers, I have two.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Here we go. I can't play a guy on Thursday night, but you can violate your you have to pick one guy rule. I don't even know you anymore.
Well, I tell you why I picked two. You picked two because Kenneth Walker might not be fully healthy, so we'll ride with him. But we also think Charbonnet is going to get enough work to do something for us,
Yes.
right? I got Charbonnet in playing in the flex. I think in two of my leagues.
Oh, wow, ballsy.
I'm going Chris Olave and Michael Thomas, and I'll tell you why. Because Olave's not really helping anyone. He's in everyone's starting lineup, or should be. Michael Thomas might not be. I'm starting him also in a flex in one of my leagues. Now, these are multi-flex leagues, 2 flexes, 3 flexes sometimes. But I think you can pick either one of them. The Titans have a notoriously bad secondary. The Saints are playing at home in their dome. And I kind of think the Saints want to show off their new toy in Derek Carr. And I think Derek Carr wants to show off a little bit himself. And the running back, literally the only healthy running back they have, because Kamara is suspended. And we just talked about Kendre Miller, the rookie, is hurt, is Jamal Williams. He's going to be the guy. He's going to play probably every single snap. He's going to be the Travis Hunter of the Saints backfield. And I'm not too worried about Jamal Williams. He's less explosive than you after a Taco Bell dinner date. It's not going to happen.
That goes right through you.
They're gonna toss the ball all around that dome, I think, and I think Chris Olave and Michael Thomas. I bet they both score.
Do you watch much South Park?
I watched zero South Park.
Oh, so you never heard Chipotle way?
No, and I prefer not
So
to.
what's that guy, Billy, the guy that died for years that's always selling stuff on TV? Look here, people, this is what you got to, yeah, you got to put this on your, this stuff sticks out. Billy, somebody or other, he died a couple years. He did all the infomercials.
Billy Mays.
What is it?
Billy Mays.
Yeah, so he ends up in Chipotle way. So after you soil your pants after eating Chipotle, you can spray this and it takes the stains out when you wash them so you don't have to buy new underwear all the time. Cartman was a big proponent of it. He ends up helping this lady that needs it so that Michael Jackson inside of Ike could win a beauty contest, talent contest, so Michael Jackson could leave purgatory so him and Billy Hayes and all these other people could take the plane to heaven. But then it turned out they were all going to hell anyway, so they should have stayed in purgatory. But Chipotle way, I could have possibly used yesterday.
I would thank you for sharing that, Kevin, but I wouldn't mean it. Do you have any running back start? Do you have a running back start or starts of the? Or I'm sorry, wide
receiver.
I'm
going to go out on a limb here and break my own rule. There's one guy I think could have a big game.
We broken rules for all. There are no
one
rules.
Guy I think could have a big game. Mr. Zay Flowers.
Wow.
Yeah.
The unknown rookie, yes. Unknown offensive.
I wouldn't call him unknown, but yes, he is a rookie. But I think the offense will be a lot different. I think he's going to be the focal point along with Andrews, and OBJ's probably not going to play this weekend now. So you have all these things coming together, and they're playing Houston, who is awful. And at home, it's going to be hot. I think Zay Flowers could be a guy that puts up some numbers. I wish I
I'm
had him in my league of record, but the price just got too high, and he could not be a part of my master plan.
I'm gonna do my best, Kevin Reynolds, and say I don't even know who you are anymore. You just 10 minutes ago got after me for I'm not going to start some rookie I don't know who's never played us down in the NFL. And
Yeah,
here we go.
I wouldn't myself, but I think other people should.
That's all these guys. I'm actually doing what I'm telling other people to do. You're just
I'm not,
you.
because I don't play in 38 leagues, because then it's just Brown.
You should start Anthony
You're just
Richardson.
Brown
I'm not,
anymore
but
with
you
your leagues,
should.
all your leagues.
I'm in 7.
Every Crayola color is beautiful in its own right. But when you just put one color on top of the other over and over, all these colors just end up brown.
I'll be honest, that is a damn good analogy. I'm
If you
actually
were Chris, you're
impressed.
just brown. You have so many damn teams. You have to
I'm
root for
actually
everyone
impressed
and
with
root
that.
against everyone. In one league, you're rooting for this guy, but you hope he only gets 21, because if he gets 22 in the other league, you lose.
No. Not for me. I do not look at my opponents. I look at my rosters. I can't look at my opponents. It drives me nuts.
We can pretend that, but that's a bunch of
All
crap
right.
that you're not sitting there watching Monday night and think, God, if he gets 10 more yards, I'm
I
screwed
don't.
here.
Nope. I'm telling you, I do not look at my opponent.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of Browns and the color brown, my tight end for the week. How about David Njoku? He, watching the preseason, seems to have built a little chemistry with Deshaun Watson. And this game figures to be something of a shootout. But when I checked, I think DraftKings had it a 47.5-point total. That's a lot of points. The Bengals run a lot of nickel. That should put Mike Hilton on Njoku, who's 5'9", 185. Njoku is 6'4", 250. He's got 35-inch arms. And maybe they'll put a safety on him. Both of their starting safeties are only 6 foot tall. I like that. I like those matchups.
Okay. I'm going to go Dalton Schultz.
Okay.
Houston has nothing in the way of receivers, and they're playing Baltimore, who loves giving up points to tight ends for some reason, or did. I'm not a big on using those stats from last year for this year, because they can flip flop so far. But I think Baltimore is going to have one of the worst defenses in the NFL by the end of the season.
Why?
I just don't think they're any good. They weren't any good last year, and they didn't do anything to get any better. I would be very surprised as far as points scored that they're in the top 20. I think they'll definitely be one of the 12 worst teams as far as giving up points.
Interesting.
That said, I also think with this new offense and the pieces and getting everybody healthy, they might score 40 a game. So I still think they're going to end up like 11-6.
And CJ Stroud is going to need an outlet. He's going to need a pacifier.
And somebody that he knows, and that's a veteran. We talked that last year. Like, he's a veteran. He's going to come in there and at least have a presence.
And that's why I did a trade in the Sirius XM Fantasy Host Dynasty League to get Hayden Hurst. The exact same reason, because he's a veteran, and Bryce Young, same situation as Stroud. He might need someone to, dump it off to here and there. All right. I don't hate that one. Defense. Sticking with my Commanders, because I'm apparently a big Washington Commanders fan now. Home against Arizona.
Yeah,
they got
Josh too. I'm
Josh Dobbs,
starting them in the
Clay,
once and done.
I mean, come on. They got no Arizona's got no scary weapons. I mean, Hollywood Brown can
he's
he might
not
do
even
something.
100%.
He's going to get 45 targets. I mean, they got no one else to throw to.
Yeah, he'll have 12 catches, 4 drops. Arizona is almost like the closest thing to a minor league team I think we've seen in the NFL in a few years.
They're not trying.
Yeah.
Honestly, I appreciate that, at least owning it.
Yeah, but I don't care for it in the NFL. I'm not big on tanking.
Oh no, I don't like it, but I appreciate that they're going on.
Yeah, if you're going to do it, do it. But I think old Rod Goodell, if he noticed them trying a little too hard to tank, it might intervene. But I don't know. I don't like it. It throws off so many things, not just fantasy. It just throws off the whole league. It's just stupid.
Well, I agree. And this is good timing though. Hey, you know what? Maybe this will happen, but something they'll get screwed out of a pick. Like, was it the Jets a couple years ago when they should have got Trevor Lawrence, but they They ended up winning that game towards the end of the year and ended
Yeah,
up
they
having
did.
Sellers
Yeah.
Wilson. And even last year with the Texans,
Oh, that was amazing. Yeah.
and the
That was
Colts, the Texans and the Colts, wasn't it?
that was great. Yeah.
I love it. Well, Lovey Smith, right?
Hmm.
He's the one that. Oh man, that's great.
Straight up, because he knew they told him the day earlier that day. I think they told him he was going to be canned regardless. So he's like, "Screw you."
Yeah, here we go. Hail Mary, got it.
Love it.
Now you pick third or whatever. All right, anything else for you, sir?
No, I think we're up to like 24, 25 and then once and done. I'm excited
Nice,
about that.
nice. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening. Make sure to check us out on Facebook, YouTube, sometimes Twitter, and Spotify for sure. Make sure we're going to try to get in here every week, give you guys some. Now that football season, the real football season is finally underway, get you guys some starts every week, break down a couple games, let you know our thoughts on everybody who's anybody in the NFL. So thanks for listening. Make sure you check us out each week during this season. Kevin, see you later, dude.
Later, dude.